Hi guys, welcome once again to MVB Life Empowerment Sessions, where we strive to be the best and do the best so we can edify our lives, edify the lives of others, and become a better community that is wholesome in all aspects of life. So today I do have an amazing and awesome brother on the panel. I call him my warrior king, and I just want him to introduce himself because we're so blessed to have him today.
I'm so blessed also to be on this show. I'm Michael Soa Kwesi, and I am a minister of the gospel.
Awesome. Michael Soa Kwesi. You know, I'm actually finding out the middle name today. What does Kwesi mean?
Kwesi basically means a Sunday male-born person. Yeah.
Sunday Melbourne. With that in lieu, he's always ministering and serving. If you want to come and visit us, we're at New Directions Bible Temple Church in the Bronx, and he will just wow you, among other amazing brothers, including the host who is missing on the show today. We'll bring him on the next segment. So we're just going to dive in right into the conversation for the day. We will be tackling a few different questions that I will be throwing unexpectedly to Mr. Soa because I kidnapped him today. But I feel like he has a lot of wisdom that can help us and serve us better. So you mentioned you're a minister of the gospel, right? Mm-hmm. What does that really mean? What is that all about? Can you give us a gist?
Just to share the gospel of Christ, let people feel the love of the Creator,
Right.
and also to let themselves to allow themselves to be saved by God's grace. Not everyone who lives or who is on this earth is saved.
Right.
The Bible teaches us in John 3:16 that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish. So on this, we also go out and to minister the love of God to people in order for them to know that they are not being rejected. People are living on this earth and they feel rejected, and they feel like they've been deprived of certain things, but the God who created them had not deprived them or rejected them. And for you to let people feel the love that they deserve to it encourages them and gives them hope in life, even to live.
To leave. Yeah. Okay. So on that note, like when you're talking about rejection can come in so many different levels, right? It could be, I guess, when you have a group of friends and all of a sudden you are no longer part of the clique.
Yeah.
Or you have a spouse, right? Or you have a friend, or you have someone that you're always with, and all of a sudden maybe they got a new person and you no longer feel needed, basically. So rejection can come in different ways. So with that in mind, I know you're a minister of the gospel, and with everything that we do on this platform, we want it to be wholesome. We want it to be filled with wisdom, so people can take the material and apply it to their life, whether in a Christian setting or non-Christian setting, as long as we strive to be better human beings. So with that said, I'm going to throw a question in terms of relationships.
Oh, okay.
Because most of our viewers love this kind of stuff, including me.
Okay. Basically, I mean, life is it's all about relationships. So
yeah. So with relationships, in your take, what do you think makes relationships better?
What makes relationship better is love.
Love.
Without love, there is no relationship.
Right.
The foundation of this earth was, or humanity was being created out of love.
Right.
So God, in his own wisdom, gave us a commandment based on love. The whole commandment, the whole thing that governs us on this earth, that makes us humans to live among ourselves, is based on love.
Right.
That is why I once said earlier, that in John 3:16, for God so loved.
Right.
So without love, we cannot relate among ourselves.
That's true.
So in every relationship, the basic thing that, or the basic ingredient that you need in order to sustain that relationship is love.
It's love, right? So how do you advise people out there to love in relationship? Because basically the way I understand love could be different from the way you understand love, the way you understand love, and by you I'm pointing at my husband behind the scenes. So how would you tell somebody like to show love, even if it's like your best friend? It doesn't have to be like necessarily just a male and female relationship, but it could be like you and your buddy, like like you and my husband, your friends. How do you show love?
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go quickly to the Bible in First Corinthians 13 verses 4 to 8.
Brain.
Just to enlighten us, because I'm a minister,
Right.
I will
I love that.
like to sometimes speak on what I represent a little. So love is patient. One. So in order for you to let the other person that you want to express your love towards, you have to have patience for the person.
So what if the person is getting on your nerves? I mean, I know you have other things to add, but like just on the patient's level, what if the person is like really pricking you and just doing stuff that, oh my God, you'll run out of patience? What do you do?
When you can't deal with such kind of distance, sometimes you have to let a person go.
Okay.
There are certain people, there are two things. There are certain
Right.
people that you have to let go.
Right.
And there are certain people that you can never let go. They are like they are family.
Right.
In this life we have two kinds of people. We have the family and we have the non-family. The non-family person you can sometimes let go, but you can't let go your mother, you can't let go your wife.
Right. Right.
Those people you have to be patient to endure them, irrespective of
The situation.
or your children. You can't ignore your children because you feel he or she is not doing the right thing that
Right.
he deserves or she deserves. Okay, so you have to have patience in order to relate
To
with.
endure.
Yeah, in order to keep the person that you think you want to show love to. You have to have that patience, because God himself had patience with us,
Okay.
and we are exhibiting the lifestyle of God towards the other
The other
person
person.
also.
Right.
So if God had patience with us, then we have to also do
And to
or
others.
follow suit to what God is, because God represents patience. So you have to also have patience with the one that you think you are in relationship with.
I guess that's why they say be Christ-like.
Yes.
Be like Christ.
Yeah.
Be patient, even when your loved one is driving you crazy, guys.
Yeah.
Be patient. And I think you had other
Yeah.
supporting.
So love is
Carry on.
patient. So First Corinthians 13 verse 4 to 8, and I read, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. So basically, when you have all these kind of things, your question was, your first question was, what should someone not do
Right.
in order? So in order, you need not to think evil about the person that you think you love
Right.
or you are in relationship with. You need not to be selfish to such a person.
Right.
You need not to be not being kind to such person.
Right.
If you say you love the person, then you have to show
Sure.
this kind of characters towards the person in order for that relationship to grow.
To work.
Yeah, because in relationship it is a work.
So basically, relationship killers, right? Because that was like the number one thing that I was thinking in terms of like this episode. Like, so you're saying if you don't have patience, that can kill your relationship
Sure.
greatly. And if you have,
If you are not kind,
if
also,
you're not kind,
yeah.
if you don't,
If you are self-seeking, you are not
Selfish.
thinking about you are not thinking about the other
Other person.
person's or whatever he or she feels or wants to also have. then if you are self-seeking, it's always me. No.
Right.
In relationship, it is not about just you alone. It is both of you.
So, what would you advise? There's a lot of people out there that would say, "My partner is not hearing me. They're not listening to me." Or maybe it always seems like it's about them, like, but they really don't have concern about what goes on with you. So people that are in relationships like that, what would be your advice to them? Because, you know, when they start to voice out things like that, they're kind of like on a thin line, you know?
So if your husband or your wife is not listening to you, it means that your husband or wife is being attracted to something else.
Right.
That is what is deriving or taking the attention of your husband or the
your
one
wife.
that you are in relationship with from you.
Exactly.
So then you have to also make sure that you do things that will attract that person's attention.
It's like a game.
Yes.
A constant game.
Yeah. So you have to know the things that will attract. So how then did your husband or your friend that you are in relationship with,
Right.
how did he get to know you? How was he or she
Drawn.
attracted to draw closer to you? Something that you did attracted him. So then it means that if you are supposed to keep him always closer to you, then you have to learn to know things that attracts that person. So you do the very things that attracts the person towards you, and that will always keep the attention of the person.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, which does make a lot of sense. But then sometimes, right, I also feel like some people can lose themselves, you know, just trying to please the person. Because there are other people, like, you know, the Bible's talking about the person is like self-seeking. Like all they think about is me. What works for me? What you know, how does this benefit? But they don't really think about also kind of like doing to the other person, right? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you, right? So it's kind of like a reciprocal thing that should go on. But I also feel like sometimes if you follow and try to keep attracting that selfish person, you might lose yourself too, don't you think?
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't jump into conclusion by calling the person first a selfish person.
I mean, it's
I know it's a general thing, but I'm also saying, the reason is because at first the person wasn't selfish,
right?
When you were with that person, because no one would love to be with a selfish person. So then, what made him to change or she to change?
Right.
So that's why I came by what attracted the person off from you. That made a person start to think about himself all along or something like that.
Okay.
So you have to know and do the very things that you need to do. And some things are historic. So that's why you have to know.
Break it down small.
That's why you have to know the person before you
jump into
a relationship.
Okay,
because there are certain people that their parents and other things, when you go into their family, you get to know that this is the kind
generational
of persons that they are. So when you find such person in that kind of destiny, then it tells you that, oh, this is where you are heading towards. Can you face it? Can you be able to draw the person? And because
but if the person did tell you now, like, you know, that their family got this deep-rooted stuff that is dark and ugly, and then you find yourself in those situations, because I would say, well, I can't put numbers on it. I was about to say 99%. I'm like, oh, I'm not a statistician. And I'm not even good at math, guys. So I won't put it like that. So I was like, sometimes you only find out when you're actually in it. Because, you know, during dating or like the initial stages of relationships, people don't really divulge those deep things. And then you find out way later down.
So let me speak on this too. When you are in a relationship, the relationship, you start as a friend.
Right.
You build the relationship in friendship.
But some people are like...
So when you are friends, it is more easily for you to flow.
Right. That's
rather
true.
than you start the relationship straightforward into courtship or other
Courtship,
things.
yeah.
That is where people hide them, their kind of lifestyles and other things. And when you marry them, that's when you see all
Yeah, you're
those
like,
kind of
what
things.
is this?
And you are shocked. But when you start your relationship as friends, everyone flows. You don't hide yourself and other things. And that is where you know the person, because the person had even sometimes told you his or her weakness before, or had led you into the family to let you know that this is who we are. So when you see the person in that kind of angle where the person is becoming selfish towards you, when you are maybe in a marriage, or even later in a deeper relationship with a person, you know how to deal with that kind of distance. But when you have only started the relationship and the person is letting you know
red flags,
the selfishness of him,
run.
not to think about you. Oh, I wouldn't say run.
But why not?
No, I mean, in relationship it is learning.
Yeah, it's
you
harder.
learn day in and day out. So if you are to run away from such a person and you go and meet another person with that kind of same attitude, how are you going to deal with it?
Different devil.
So then
skin.
you have to learn how to deal with a person in that kind of situation also.
Okay.
If you can't deal with it, then I could say run away and find someone. Not everyone is selfish. So there are certain people who are not selfish.
Yeah, they're really
I'm not
nice.
selfish. So you can meet me there.
Minister, are you single? Are you searching?
Yes.
He is single.
I am single.
And he's searching.
And I'm searching
Ladies.
also.
He wants to marry.
Oh yes, because marriage is good.
He's a great guy, to all the single ladies out there. And you can hear the wisdom coming from him. It's very helpful. I call him Warrior King.
And I call you Warrior Queen.
Yeah. Sometimes he will speak a nugget and then it's like it corrects my spirit real quick, like, Mo, get it together. So we appreciate you for that. Thank you so much for being on this show and this segment. I will definitely have you once again.
And thank you so much for having me.
Because
it's a pleasure sharing the thoughts of what God has blessed me also with you and your viewers also.
Thank you for making time. I hope you were blessed and that, you learned a lot from this segment. We will have more from him and many others, and hopefully it will impact you greatly and you can save your relationship, your marriage, your friendships, relationship with your children, strangers, you name it. We are all about becoming a better community. Thank you once again for tuning into MVB Life Empowerment Sessions. Cheers.